Hello everyone, welcome back to the YouTube channel. At the end of episode 155, after entering the secret chamber, Huo Yuhao used a divine technique and finally witnessed the scene of Leah being harmed by the evil soul master. Seeing her daughter in such a state, the sea princess anxiously asked, "How is she? Can she still be saved? From what I've just seen, part of her soul has been forcibly extracted by that evil soul master. At this point, there's no way to fully restore it. Is there really no other way? There is one chance. It might allow Leah to live for a period of time, but I'm not sure it will succeed. As long as Leah can survive, no matter what form she takes, it's fine. I will attempt the soul-spirit fusion method. If it succeeds, Leah will become a soul spirit. But if it fails, her soul will completely disperse." Hearing the words, "soul completely dispersed," the expressions of the sea princess and her daughter changed drastically. However, if they didn't try, Leah would still face the same fate. Even Wang Donghua objected, looking at Yuhao and saying, "What you're doing is too dangerous." But seeing Leah suffering in extreme agony, the sea princess ultimately agreed to let Huo Yuhao proceed. At that moment, Huo Yuhao stepped closer to the cold jade bed. A cold divine light flashed across his face as he began chanting incantations. Soon after, he started the extremely difficult process of forming the contract. The process was incredibly painful. Leah continuously let out heart-wrenching screams. But Yuhao himself was also enduring immense suffering. Witnessing this, even Tianming Iceworm cried out, "Yuhao, stop, your spiritual sea is about to collapse." Ignoring everything, Yuhao resolutely continued. However, as time passed, Leah's soul began to reject him more and more violently. She struggled fiercely and refused even to communicate with him. The intense spiritual backlash caused cracks to appear in Yuhao's spiritual sea. Blood began to seep from his nose and mouth. Yuhao could have unilaterally terminated the contract, but doing so would mean Leah would completely vanish. Thus, he made up his mind to help the mermaid princess. More importantly, he wanted to gain understanding and trust from the Sea Soul Beast clan. For that reason, he gritted his teeth and persevered. Meanwhile, back at the camp, the seven monsters grew increasingly worried when Yuhao and Donghua did not return. One of them anxiously said, "It's been several days already, and there's still no news from them." This made everyone even more uneasy. To make matters worse, they also received news that the Heavenly Soul Empire was preparing to launch an attack. Because of this, their anxiety reached its peak. Cut to another scene. Juzi had officially entered the battlefield. Standing among the army, she raised her sword and shouted, "Pass down the order. Take the enemy's lives. Leave no one alive." With that command, the Heavenly Soul Army charged forward, triggering a fierce battle between the Heavenly Soul Empire and the allied forces of the three great empires. At the same time, after reading an intelligence report, Shu Tianren was furious at Yuhao's leapfrog strategy. Upon learning that two cities had been attacked one after another, Shu Tianren even suspected that his own soul engineers had betrayed him. Tearing the report apart, he roared, "So useless! What use do I have for you?" His outburst left everyone below him trembling in fear. Meanwhile, Yuhao continued struggling to complete the contract with Leah, but he was already at his weakest state. Fortunately, at the critical moment, the sea princess finally took action. Together with her clan, she performed the mermaid blessing ritual. A gentle energy descended upon Leah, soothing her chaotic and tormented soul. As a result, Leah's resentment diminished, and even her gaze softened significantly. At this point, Huo Yuhao proceeded with the final steps of the contract, turning Leah into a soul spirit. After an incredibly difficult process, Leah successfully fused with Huo Yuhao, granting him 200,000-year soul skills and an extremely precious right arm soul bone. With that, everything finally came to an end. Seeing that Leah was still alive as a soul spirit, the sea princess and her entire clan were overjoyed. They immediately rushed forward to thank Huo Yuhao. As for Wang Donghua, seeing the one she loved succeed filled her with happiness. After exchanging a few more words, Huo Yuhao informed the sea princess that he had completed his task and needed to return to land. Finally, after bidding farewell, the two departed at once, preparing to fully launch their counterattack against the Sun Moon Empire. So, what exciting developments await in episode 156? Stay tuned to the channel for more details. Goodbye, and see you next time.